Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in American sports.
Caitlin Clark could be raising the tide and lifting all boats, and I think Angel Reese needs to take a pill.
I don't care how good you are. Your team loses, we're moving on to the next, particularly with the NFL season starting and college football starting. Are you kidding me?
There's not one other American athlete that could do what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA or for any league.
I think she should be up for MVP.
Those women that are petty and jealous and have some animus towards Caitlin Clark, that's old school sport. We got a good guy and a bad guy. We got real competition.
She's learned how to play the game, and she said, I had to learn how to play the WNBA way.
Caitlin Clark is the biggest star in American sports.
The Rookie of the Year race just took a huge turn, and Chicago Sky fans aren't ready for this. While Angel Reese racks up double-doubles, Caitlin Clark is outshining everyone with record-breaking performances, leading the Fever to their first playoff spot since 2016. In today's video, we're diving into why Clark is pulling ahead and why the debate between her and Reese is over. Chicago fans, brace yourselves. Caitlin Clark is taking over.
There is no drama with Caitlin Clark. None. Zero. After Angel Reese did all that taunting, and Angel Reese designed herself or designated herself as Barbie or whatever she did and took her clothes off for Instagram and posed and all this stuff, what happened? Exactly what I told you was going to happen. She was going to have a press conference where she cried and she claimed to be sexualized. What is that? To the average person, you know what that is? Drama. Total drama.
Angel Reese has been increasingly criticized for padding her stats during blowout losses, raising concerns about the integrity of her performances.
But every time you see something relative to Angel Reese, what's it about? It's about her. It's not about her team, it's about her. One makes it about her, the other makes it about us.
During last night's matchup with the Indiana Fever, there was a clear instance of unsportsmanlike conduct. Even with the game firmly in the Fever's control by a substantial lead, Reese insisted on staying on the court, aiming to boost her already remarkable double-double statistics.
I don't care how good you are. Your team loses, we're moving on to the next, particularly with the NFL season starting and college football starting. Are you kidding me? So here in Indiana, we're going to celebrate Caitlin Clark all through the playoffs, see how far it goes, see how great it is or isn't. In Chicago, probably going to be a passing thing. Probably going to be a one-hit wonder. And the reason is simple. One makes it about her, the other makes it about us.
In the closing minutes of the game, as the Fever's starting players took a rest on the bench, Reese saw an opportunity to make her mark by scoring and grabbing rebounds against the Fever's backup players. In the end, she achieved an impressive double-double with 10 points and 11 rebounds. However, many fans and analysts have criticized the context of her achievement, raising concerns about the ethics of running up stats against lesser opponents.
There is a lot of appropriate attention on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The WNBA has 18 games this season where they've had more than 1 million viewers average, and 16 of those 18 have featured Caitlin Clark. So you cannot deny the connectivity of Caitlin Clark playing basketball and people wanting to watch. If she's playing, they will come, they will watch the game.
Dwyane Wade had some strong words of criticism for Reese's recent performance, specifically calling out what he perceived as stat padding during garbage time. This ignited a significant amount of controversy among fans, as many felt that it showed a lack of respect for the principles of sportsmanship and fair play. Wade's comments have triggered a wave of backlash, leading to widespread questioning of the integrity behind Reese's impressive double-double streak.
There's nothing, Shannon. You just want to support that white girl. She busting y'all ass. If you like Caitlin Clark, you gotta hate Angel. And if you love Angel, you can't say anything good about Caitlin Clark. Y'all can't tell me what the F to say. I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark's outstanding performance led the Fever to victory with an impressive 31 points and 12 assists. But unfortunately, it was overshadowed by Reese's controversial actions.
What Caitlin Clark does is kind of simple, really. She shows up at games, she signs autographs, she talks to little girls wearing jerseys, she smiles to the crowd, and then here's the most important thing. She competes like a maniac. I mean like a maniac.
While Clark's exceptional performance should have been the primary focus of discussion, the attention has turned to Reese's contentious strategy of inflating her stats. As the WNBA season advances, it is uncertain whether Reese will persist in padding her stats during lopsided losses, or if she will demonstrate graciousness in defeat and direct her efforts towards enhancing her team's overall performance.
She's the only one capable of taking nothing and making it something. The WNBA was nothing before Caitlin Clark.
The impact of her actions is undeniable. By refusing to engage in unsportsmanlike conduct, she has initiated a crucial dialogue about the significance of demonstrating sportsmanship and upholding fair play in the realm of professional basketball.
Caitlin Clark may not win titles, but the fact that she is doing what she's doing and at a very high level, it's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league.
The Chicago Sky will not resort to having Elena Del Don deliberately commit fouls in order to get her to the free throw line, and they certainly won't have Tina Charles doing the same. It's highly unlikely that Teresa Weatherspoon will keep her in the game when the outcome is already decided just to pad her stats. Frankly, the actions and decisions of the Chicago Sky organization call their credibility into question. At the end of the first half, Aaliyah Boston was hit with a technical foul. Now, as the third quarter begins, the Chicago Sky coach faces a crucial decision. With the game on the line, who should step up and take those pivotal free throws? Would it be Lindsay Allen or Rachel Banham? Surprisingly, the coach, Teresa Weatherspoon, decides to give the opportunity to Angel Reese, a choice that underscores the team's lack of focus and sends a negative message about the level of professionalism in the WNBA.
But I'm paying attention to the entire WNBA, and so are other people because of Caitlin Clark.
Kahlia Copper is expressing a strong desire to depart, while Kennedy Carter, Marina Mabrey, Dana Evans, and Camila Cardoso are also actively seeking exits. Their shared motivation stems from a genuine passion for playing basketball at a professional level. In today's WNBA landscape, where some players are engaged in podcasting, influencer roles, or acting, these individuals stand out as dedicated athletes driven by a desire to excel on the basketball court. Angel Reese seems to be more focused on watching wicked commercials rather than practicing her free throws, honing her post moves, or improving her mid-range game. While the commercial is decent, I find it surprising that it's being shown in theaters.
Who gives a shit about WNBA drama? We barely gave a damn about the WNBA before Caitlin Clark.
You know when's the last time I watched a WNBA game? Never.
It's disappointing to see yet another Broadway show being adapted into a movie, potentially losing the essence that makes it unique to the theater. It appears that the emphasis is on portraying an unapologetic version of the character Angel without focusing on the depth of her character development. This shift in focus is disheartening. Additionally, the recent game between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky ended with a crushing victory for the Fever at 100-81. However, the game was marred by what seems to be stat padding and fake statistics, taking away from the authenticity of the players' performances. You ever seen The Wolf of Wall Street? Just picture Matthew McConaughey's character in the double-double. It's all a facade. It's not authentic. Let's be honest, it's a participation double-double. 19 out of those 23 double-doubles were basically handed to her by the other team.
Caitlin continuing to impress and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple years. But everybody, that's why you had to pick Caitlin up.
19 out of the 23 double-doubles were a result of the other team's mistakes, or her being left in during garbage time just to inflate those numbers. This is a clear disrespect to the game and contradicts the idea of not prioritizing individual stats, Rookie of the Year accolades, or double-doubles.
You don't wake up and think about individual awards. I know that's what all of you think we do. I know we don't. Both of our teams are competing for playoff spots. Like, that's our main focus. Our focus is on winning basketball games. It's simple as that. Like, it's winning basketball games.
Jay-Z once said, "We don't believe you. You need more people." Angel Reese, we're not buying it. Your devoted fan base might be on board, but those of us who think critically aren't convinced. With just under 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, Caitlin Clark nails a couple of free throws, pushing the Indiana Fever to a 98-71 lead. After careful observation, it becomes evident that the substitutions made during the game were quite significant. Michaela Onyenwere was replaced by Diamond DeShields, Damiris Dantas for Aaliyah Boston, and Victoria Vivians for Clark. Despite these changes, Angel Reese remained on the court. The game progressed, and at 3:23 and 2:41 time markers, further substitutions were made. Notably, Camila Cardoso was taken out, yet Angel Reese continued to stay on the court. Even when Lexi Hull was pulled from the game, Angel Reese persisted in her pursuit of a double-double, making every effort to increase her points with only 2 minutes left on the clock. In the last 42 seconds of the game, she managed to draw a crucial foul, securing her 23rd double-double of the season. It is important to acknowledge that despite the hype from ESPN and the WNBA surrounding this achievement, concerns were raised about the methods used to achieve this statistical milestone.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
We don't get to say, well, Joe Rogan is number one and we are important too, because that's not how podcasting competition works. You know who tells you you're good? The flipping market tells you you're good.
After closely following numerous Sky games and every Fever game, it has become evident that the prevalence of double-doubles may be having a detrimental impact on the team and the overall locker room atmosphere. While it's important to support Angel Reese in achieving her double-double performance, it shouldn't come at the expense of disrupting team dynamics and cohesion. Rachel Bannum pointed out in the post-game chat, "If getting your butt kicked doesn't motivate you to step up, then we need to take a long look in the mirror."
Caitlin Clark is different from any other player we have ever seen in the women's game, and it starts with the distance with which she shoots the basketball. We've never seen a player shoot from that deep range with that kind of efficiency.
The evening that was intended to be Barbie night ended up being a tribute to Caitlin Clark, as she received an unexpected show of support from opposing fans in what was meant to be hostile territory. When she left the court with just under 4 minutes remaining, the crowd honored her with a standing ovation, recognizing her impressive third 30-point game of the season. This unexpected display of admiration raised the question of whether this was truly enemy territory, especially considering the numerous Caitlin Clark jerseys spotted throughout downtown Chicago. It's clear that Caitlin Clark's jersey is rapidly becoming the WNBA's equivalent of the iconic Yankee hat, with her fans showing unwavering support wherever she plays. Even in what was technically an away game, the overwhelming presence of Indiana Fever supporters, adorned in Clark's jerseys and Fever t-shirts, made it feel as if she was back in the NCAA tournament.
Honestly, I just had a lot of fun playing. I thought we played with a lot of joy. We played at up-tempo. We shared the ball well.
Despite being on paper a road game, the stands were predominantly filled with Indiana Fever fans, outnumbering the Chicago Sky supporters. The game was a complete disaster for the Chicago Sky. Caitlin Clark put on an outstanding performance, but the Chicago Sky couldn't secure the win as the Indiana Fever emerged victorious. Angel Reese managed to inflate her statistics in the closing moments of the game, adding to the disappointment. Adding insult to injury, Caitlin Clark was knocked down by Diamond DeShields, and the game saw not just one, but 2 flagrant fouls against her. It's hard to fathom how such actions can be considered part of the game of basketball. It's certainly a concerning display of sportsmanship. Additionally, the leadership of Teresa Weatherspoon leaves much to be desired, casting doubt on the seriousness of the organization. In the past 2 games against the Connecticut Sun, which saw the emergence of Marina Mabrey, and the recent match against the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark. The Chicago Sky's games have been marked by controversial plays, including instances of flagrant fouls. These incidents have raised questions about the team's conduct and sportsmanship during these high-stakes games. This organization is a joke, a weak-minded group that allows their star player to skip interviews just because she might face tough questions. An organization that lacks control over its players.
Name another company that just loses money, and we're like, yeah, let's keep talking about this company for the last 25 years. Candace Wiggins, she played for Stanford. She claims that she was bullied by WNBA players. She says she was bullied because she's straight. And she says that 98% of the league is lesbians.
The incident involving Kennedy Carter hip-checking Caitlin Clark and declaring, "Hey, I don't want to play today, I'll play tomorrow," raises questions about who holds the reins. Is it Kennedy Carter or Teresa Weatherspoon? Perhaps it's Angel Reese or Teresa Weatherspoon. I'm eager to understand who is ultimately calling the shots. The Chicago Sky is currently experiencing a surge of frustration. They are particularly displeased with the front page of either the Chicago Tribune or the Chicago Sun-Times, which prominently features Foul Ball Sports, showcasing Diamond DeShield's hip check on Caitlin Clark. This contentious incident has become the subject of widespread discussion, further fueling the team's ire.
You know what Caitlin Clark said when she got fouled this hard? Look how different the response is. Go for it.
What's going through my mind is I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just a part of basketball. It is what it is.
Listen,
you know, trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, I mean, it happens. And those free throws, when you have to shoot them with nobody at the line, are kind of hard. So it's a little different than having people at the line. So I was just trying to focus on making those.
We like winners who take responsibility and they don't act like victims. There's something in the marketplace.
Just to clarify, I live in New Jersey. We don't have our own baseball team, so we support the Yankees. Similarly, we don't have our own basketball team. Instead, we support either the Knicks or the Nets. Our football situation is a bit complicated as well. The Jets are covered by New York media, while the Eagles are covered by Philly media. If Chicago Sky fans are getting upset over this, then they are really sensitive. They're more sensitive than fans in California, and even more than the LA media. If this is making them angry, then they might not be able to handle in-depth sports news. Come on, Chicago Sky fans, stop being so weak. Maybe if you focused more on winning instead of padding stats, you'd actually win some games, but you were too busy inflating numbers. You traded away your best perimeter player, Kennedy Carter. Dana Evans asked for a trade, all for the sake of those fake double-doubles. It appears that Tamika Catchings, Nalissa Smith, and Aaliyah Boston, in addition to DeWanna Bonner, made a definitive statement today, asserting that they are dominating the Rookie of the Year race. Emphasizing their commitment to playing strong defense and refusing to yield any ground, they have effectively put an end to the competition. Consequently, the Rookie of the Year race has concluded. However, there is now a growing realization among observers that this exceptional performance may have been consistent throughout the season. The statistics show a pattern of impressive double-double performances, particularly by Clark, who appears to be establishing a significant lead, widening the gap with each successive game. After the game, Clark emphasized that individual awards are not the team's main focus. Instead, the team is squarely focused on securing playoff spots and winning basketball games. This mindset has led to impressive results, with Indiana winning 3 straight games and 5 of the last 6. In their most recent game, the Fever showcased excellent teamwork by recording assists on 26 of their 32 field goals and committing just 11 turnovers, limiting Chicago to just 5 points off turnovers. Clark highlighted the importance of time for players to build chemistry and understanding with their teammates, expressing confidence that as the team continues to play together, they will become even more comfortable and effective on the court. The Chicago Sky's recent struggles cannot be solely attributed to one individual, such as Reese. The team is currently facing challenges in terms of offensive capabilities, with Marina Mabrey, who was traded before the Olympic break, still ranking as their second leading scorer. The team has also been unable to close out close games, having lost 6 games by 4 points or fewer, 3 of which occurred during their current losing streak. In a recent game, Chicago initially secured a 13-point lead in the first quarter, only to eventually lose by 19 points. Their efforts in the closing moments were insufficient, requiring a 10-2 run in garbage time just to narrow the final score. Reese emphasized the team's need to improve their execution down the stretch, stating, "We don't want to keep losing. It's not a good feeling for anyone." For the foreseeable future, Clark and Reese are both poised for enduring and prosperous careers. However, they will inevitably be measured against each other. At present, Clark has an edge over Reese, at least for this season. That's it for today's video. Caitlin Clark continues to prove why she's the clear frontrunner for Rookie of the Year, and it's hard to argue with the stats and impact she's having on the Fever. But what do you think? Is Angel Reese still in the race, or has Caitlin Clark officially pulled away? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on the latest WNBA action. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.